This is the No More OGs podcast. From controversial topics to creating financial freedom, we will talk to real people about real situations, providing real solutions. No celebrity endorsements. Bringing you unfiltered discussions, dope interviews, and giving you the blueprint to create the culture that you will be proud of. So kick back, turn up the volume, and let's get to it. Here's your host, yours truly, Mr. Purpose on Demand, Mr. Retired at 37, Mr. Tim Jackson. What's going on? It's your man, Tim Jackson. This is the No More OGs podcast. I'm your host, and I'm joined today by a very, very special guest. Man, this is my guy. Met this dude at an event in Northwest Arkansas. Saw him doing this thing. I said, I can rock with him, man. That's somebody I can rock with. Just straight lace, no chasers, man. This dude straight out of Chicago, the South Side. He is literally the definition of you have no excuses why you're not winning. I mean, I'm gonna let him tell his own story, but Dre is the type of dude that if you get around Dre, you can't make excuses. You got to make moves. Right. So, man, let me just introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mindset Matters himself. When y'all see me in them Mindset Matters t-shirts, this is my guy brand. Y'all give it up for my man, Mr. Andre Haynes. What's good, man?
What's going on, bro? Appreciate you for having me on. Definitely appreciate you having me on. Love the introduction, man.
Fresh off the plane.
Fresh off the plane.
Like this cat hit me up and said, bro, I'm getting off the plane. I ain't even checking into the Airbnb, man. That's what's up. Well, listen, man, this is one of them episodes where I just want to get straight into it, man, because you know me, the whole platform is called No More OGs. Mm-hmm. And I get a lot of pushback and I get a lot of love for that because you get them old niggas, they be like, what you mean ain't no OGs? I mean, but the concept is pretty what it is, man. Like, you know, I feel like we don't have a lot of old heads like giving us game. Mm-hmm. You know, coming up where I came up from, if you had promise, if you had potential, people would pull you to the side and be like, nah, you not, no. You know what I'm saying? You either going to play that sport or you're going to go to school and figure it out. That's not for you. Yeah. I feel like we don't have that no more. But, man, stumbling upon you, man, your story is very unique because you literally, you know, when kids say they got it out the mud, yes, like sir. You literally got it out the mud. Like, yes, tell my people your background, bro.
I am from the South Side of Chicago, Ida B. Wells Projects. I don't come from no financial literacy at all. You know, grew up, you know, government assistance, Section 8, public housing, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And at a very young age, I was adopted into my own family by my aunt because my mom and dad were, you know, hit by a drug epidemic that swept through the projects in the late 80s and early 90s, unfortunately. But, you know, God blessed me enough to keep me in my own family and keep me safe and get me out of that project situation to whereas I moved to a suburb called Maywood, which wasn't much better, but it was just a safer environment than where I was. You know what I'm saying? And it's just been like an extreme blessing to kind of like, you know, maneuver through all of that and then to be here where I am and then look back like, damn, God, you cold-blooded, how you like looked out for me and like protected me through all of that. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't easy. It's been a struggle and sometimes it's still a struggle. But like I say, when I look back, like I'm truly, truly blessed because I know a lot of people who are from those same circumstances who had those same kind of issues who ain't where I'm at right now. You know what I mean?
You know what, man? It's funny you say that because I talk about this all the time. I say sometimes you gotta leave people behind, and within our community, man, like we cringe when we hear that. But literally, you know, many times when you are destined to be something, and when I always tell people the idea is the validation. If that idea was given to you, it was meant for you. And many times within our community, we'll try to go convince the wrong people to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And what I learned when I came back from the military is that a lot of my partners, they like the hood shit. Like they
love it.
They perfectly fine.
Man, bask in that shit. Like they roll like a pig in mud, man. They just like that's that's who they are.
You can't. I tell the story all the time about my partner after I wrote my book, Real Dope. You know how I was like, bro, you a hustler. Like let me show you how to get some real money. I'm gonna show you how to buy some properties. We gonna get you legit. And he said, bro, Tim, I love you. But I'm good at pimping hoes and selling dope, man. That square shit ain't for me, man.
Oh, square shit.
That square shit ain't for me, bro. And so he said, I love you, though, man. And literally, I published my book, and he went to prison.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you said something, man. You said, you know, sometimes, you know, you still think about how stuff was, but, you know, you've overcome a lot, man. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that, man, you used to be an entertainer, bro. You have connections with people that have won NBA championships. Like, speak to that, bro.
Yeah. And that's another thing. In addition to God really blessing me and pulling me out of my situation, He has given me some some remarkable relationships, bro. Like, my relationships to this day are the reason why I am where I am. You know, of course, I put in the work, I grinded or whatever, but a lot of my success and a lot of, you know, just like my growth came from, you know, the relationships that I have, people leading me in the right direction, people exposing me to things that I otherwise would not have seen had I not had those relationships. And that exposure, like, it just let me know that a lot of things were possible. Like, you know, when I moved to Maywood, you know, it was just a new environment for me. You know, I'm a project kid, I'm moving around, you know, white boys in the suburbs, you know what I mean? A lot of people who just ain't thinking like like how I'm thinking. You know, you go over your friend's house, they got all the new video games, all that. I ain't got none of that shit. I asked my auntie for that shit, some new shoes, all that. She like, boy, I could barely feed your ass. You think I'm finna go buy you $100 video game? Like, it just, you know how them conversations go when y'all and you go ask your parent for some shit, they damn near offended. Like I beat your ass type shit. Dave
Chappelle said the worst feeling in the world was growing up poor around a bunch of rich motherfuckers.
Man, bro. Like, my white homie, like, his mom, like, they used to put him in all the camps. He used to get all the new Nikes. He had everything, the newest, rawest baseball bats during baseball season, the rawest gloves. He had all that shit. I used to be hand-me-downs and donations, and you know what I'm saying? But again, that exposure, though.
Let's pause, because you said something that's going to go over some people's head. He said he had the newest baseball bats.
Yes, sir.
Baseball ain't no cheap sport.
At all.
And black kids don't really play baseball like that because it ain't no cheap sport.
Yeah.
Like, them bats be $300 a month.
Man, leather glove, man, $200-$300. You want to get you a good one. You know, you want to get on a traveling team, the team where you really gonna become something and learn, man. That shit, $1,000 for the summer. Like, they traveling around, feeding you. You know what I mean?
AAU
Vans,
teams ain't got shit on them travel baseball teams. Like, financially, do they? Like, you, like, I gotta pay $1,000 for my AAU team. It's like, them travel baseball teams be starting at $5,000-$6,000,
$6 bands, man. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. So let's talk about this. So you graduate high school, you got into the entertainment business, bro.
Yeah, so even before I graduated, you know, I was still, you know, I was rapping in high school, and it was cool because my friends were athletes. Shannon and D Brown, you know, two guys who went to the NBA from small town Maywood, you know what I mean, were big college superstars, went to the, you know, Final Four, national championship, all of that. Like, you know, I came up with them guys, and they really, like, took me with them and, like, took me under their wing and, like, showed me a lot. You know, they college visits, you know, when they went to the NBA, I was with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I watched Shannon win 2 championships with Kobe. I watched D, you know, go overseas and win gold medals when he was in high school, make it to the cover of the Sports Illustrated, be the star on the #1 college basketball team in the country. Like, and these are my friends. Like I'm with them. Like we kicking it. Like, yeah, these are my guys. You know what I mean? I call these guys right now. You know what I mean? And just being able to see that and, like, having those kind of guys believe in me and be like, no, like, you one of them niggas too. Like, I don't give a fuck what you come from, what your circumstances were. Like, you one of them guys, and having them speak that kind of life into me and putting me in certain positions, it gave me the confidence to really, like, elevate and kind of, like, change my mindset. Like, no, you ain't just like no weak ass, broke ass nigga from the projects. You really are one of them guys, because otherwise you wouldn't be in the room next to them guys.
Oh,
like, you know what I'm saying?
You preaching. No, you're not finna buzz over that.
Yeah.
That's what this whole platform is about. Like, me bringing people like you to an audience that hasn't been exposed to people like us.
For sure.
You know, we're these mythical creatures, and I'm sure you can attest to this. When you go back and visit where you from, well, you different. You lucky, man. It's all luck. No, it's not luck. It's preparation. Yeah. And then when the opportunity came, I was prepared.
Yeah, and imagine if those relationships, you know, had been trying to put me in certain positions that I wasn't ready for. It wouldn't have panned out like this. It wouldn't have played out like this. Like, through my relationship with Shannon, I met a big sister of mine, a mentor of mine. Her name is Kiyoki. And, you know, Kiyoki was a handler for, you know, guys like Michael Finley, Shannon. She took care of all their business when they moved around to different cities, made sure they were set up good, like, made sure they were responsible with their money, all of these things. And Kiyoki is the person who told me about the NACA program.
We're going to get into NACA.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Kiyoki, she's the person that introduced me to that. She's the person that put me, like, through real estate school. Like, she just really believed in me, because after a while, you know, after you realizing that you're not going to make it in entertainment, like, yeah, like, you've been doing this shit for 10 years. You done had meetings with labels. You done opened up for the biggest and the best acts, T.I., Fat Joe, all of these guys, Young Jock, while they in their prime.
Who you sat next to at the game, at the championship
game? Beyonce. Yeah. I said right next to, like, so my homie D, he played in the championship game against North Carolina. My seats were right next to Jay-Z and Beyonce. I got pictures of Beyonce playing with my first daughter when she was a baby, all of these things. And like I say, it just never worked out for me as far as like being signed as an artist. But like it wasn't my purpose. But the thing was, I had to go through those things and see these things, and God kind of showing me like, hey nigga, you have the opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, be out here and to become one of these people if you get the message that I'm giving you. Like, no, I'm gonna dangle this shit over your head until you get it. Like, I'm not putting you in these rooms and I'm not putting you next to these people for no reason. And until you get it, I'm going to continue to expose you to all of this shit. Like, I'm gonna continue to put you I'm like, why am I sitting next to Worldwide West at dinner? Like, why did Beyonce just come sit right next to me? Why am I opening up for, you know, like I say, Fat Joe, Young Jock, people like this? Why am I in these rooms? Why do I have these relationships? Why am I in a wedding with Kobe Bryant when Shannon married Monica type shit? Like why is all of this shit going on in my life? And it's all God, and it's a calling that God had over my life, and I didn't realize it until, you know, I actually realized it. You know what I mean? Because I would just be in like these positions in these rooms feeling weird and uncomfortable, like, damn, I don't really belong here. But whole time I did belong there because it was for a greater purpose later.
Oh man, you preaching. Let's talk about that. A lot of people get placed in positions and they don't realize the severity of the nature. Yeah. They don't realize the opportunity they have right in front of them. Yeah. And what happens is that imposter syndrome will kick in. Yeah. You get around people that's got their shit together, right? Yeah. And what you realize is if you keep playing the game and if you keep pursuing what you're doing, those people are no different than you. Yep. But we've created this allure. We've created this image of somebody, and they just regular people like us. And when you get into the room, I can't tell you how many times I brought people into rooms with people and they didn't catch the alley-oop. And it's like, bro, you meant for this shit. You built for this shit. I can't do it for you. I can get you over, you know, this way. And it's like, I think about it, you know, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I've read the Bible like 3 times.
For sure. I was raised in the Christian household. I'm not religious either. Like, I was, you know, just raised in the house, so you know the word. So it talks, you know, the mountain, the whole, I can get you to the promised land, but I can't go with you. Yeah. Like, all that stuff is metaphoric. Like, a lot of people throw up oops, and you've had some amazing oops thrown up. I caught them all.
Since you realized your purpose. Let's segue into that because you were working at a call center. Man. Everybody done worked at the call center before. Dallas, did you know Dallas is the home of the call centers?
Man, bro, I think our home call center probably was in Dallas.
Dallas is the home of the call center. If you can't get a job in Dallas-Fort Worth at a call center, there's something wrong with you. Like, every major company has a call center here, right? So, like, I started in call centers. When I got back from the military, I got a job in the call center, working at a bank. But you were at the call center. You had this connection with the lady you speak of, Kiyoki. I read about her in your book. Yeah. She's managed all these amazing people. You said Michael Finley. I'm a Dallas boy, so you know. It broke my heart when Finley went to San Antonio and won that chip. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But you have this person who literally sees something in you. Yeah. Literally invested some in you.
And she saw it like when I was like 10, when I was down bad, like I was fucked up, like, you know, damn near like in a depression. And she just like, listen, like, I need you to know you're talented, you're able, you're capable. Music is not your only option. Like, the fact that you can put words together the way you do, nigga, like you're really a genius. Like, you just don't have nobody talking to you and pouring into you the right way though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And just that relationship with her really like just sent me to the moon for real, because I never had nobody pour into me like that, and didn't want nothing in return. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just really see like what I could be and the potential, and just really pour into that. And she's just always been like this with everybody. Everybody who's ever been around Kiyoki is something or doing something major right now. Like, all the younger people that was around her, everybody. So Shannon little brother right now. Yes, Shannon little brother right now in the NBA. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shannon went to the NBA. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. Her little sisters, my other sisters, like Hillary and Penny, like, they are successful in whatever it is that they're doing. People who, like, just listen to Kiyoki and just follow Kiyoki lead and listen to Kiyoki instruction, man, they all doing very well. And I'm sure she look around and see kind of like, you know, what she done birthed and like what she poured into. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about that.
To make her super proud.
Let's talk about the importance of a mentor. You know, because one of the ways that me and you connect is I met you in Arkansas, but I actually brought you back to Dallas. Yep. I said, man, I need you to come talk to my boys. We had a packed house that day, man. Yeah. You flew in from Chicago. You talked. I think we did a 20 ways to make $1 million
in music industry.
In music. Yeah. And you brought the aspect of the artist. A couple other guys came. We had an attorney, but let's talk about that power of mentorship, because I think that in our community, we don't value mentorship. Like, a mentor, I literally was able to retire at the age of 37 financially because of something that a mentor poured in me. But my goal now is to help everyone that is in my presence to do something great within their life. Like, how's a mentor changed your life? And speak to the value of having someone that fuck with you like that, man, that see it.
Like I just told y'all, like, so Kyoki was really like my first mentor. And then like you build relationships around, the growth that you've attained. And from there, I got relationships with guys like you, Andre Hatchett, Henry Washington, like people who like are like doing the stuff that I want to do, but doing it at a higher level. And I've learned so much from each one of y'all. Like, even though like we around the same age, we all kind of do the same shit, we pour into each other. Like, man, Tim, you should do this, and this. Go get this kind of camera for your podcast. Get this kind of lens. Literally. Andre Hatchett gave me the best advice ever. He's like, Dre, you are in a lane all by yourself. Niche down to NACA. He's like, I don't know nobody that attained $1 million, $2 million worth of nothing through NACA.
Nobody.
He's like, bro, like you're swimming in the red ocean, like all alone. Everybody else over here in this blue ocean, like, nigga, you over here by yourself. He like, nigga, stop talking about the stock market, stop talking about everything else except for NACA, because that's where you're going to win at, because you're the only one who's been successful with that for real.
Literally the only person. I knew about NACA 12, 13 years ago, and when I heard you talking about it, I said, the way he explains it is different. Like, it's not boring, it's relatable. I saw you on stage talking about it, and I was like, he's gonna make people are gonna understand it the way he talks about it, because even watching your video, it's like talking to your homeboy. It's like a homeboy come to your house, y'all playing the game, and he telling you about this program that made him a millionaire.
And it's super intentional. Like, I'm intentionally like that, because I know who needs to hear this information and what, parts of the city they come from, what neighborhoods they come from, what trials and tribulations they're going through. So I want to speak directly to those people and let them know, like, look, I was just like you, boy. I was probably way more worse off than you are right now. And look at me now. Like, in a 3-year time frame from 2015 to 2018, the NACA program essentially made me a millionaire with a net worth of over $1.5 million through purchasing real estate through them, bro. Like, it's just in 3 years, like, I went from working 50, 60-hour weeks to not working at all and just being able to work for myself.
Now, you're not finna get off that closing. So I was taking Dre's closing. And Dre, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I know you can see the stats because you can see when people watching your shit. Dre said I was making $26,000 at a job that I didn't like.
Yeah.
I went through this program. It took me a year to get through it, but I was like, no, I need this shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to get it. You said on the day of your closing, you showed up and got back, was it $10,000?
So, no, so how it went was, I was making, like I say, $26,000 a year after taxes, right, which is below the poverty line. You know what I'm saying?
Just tell me how much you got back, because I got to tell you. Just tell me how much you get back to the table.
So I ended up keeping all of my money, and I got an extra $5,000.
How much is your money?
It was about 15 bands.
All right, let me get back to the story. So Dre got back 20 bands, and I'm in real estate, right? He went from making $26,000 to acquiring a property of, was it 3 or 4 units?
4 units.
A 4-unit property on the last day of the month with a $20,000 check, transfer of ownership, and then this motherfucker turned around and picked the rent the next day. Like, just think about that. Like,
got my check the same day.
You got your rent check. So,
like, it was so how it went was.
As I'm watching this, you know what came to mind when Dave Chappelle got Oprah pregnant.
Like, nigga, I did the biggest lick of my life.
Like, just think about it. You a kid from the south side of Chicago,
man,
who was literally going through a depression, who was literally having to reinvent yourself because that image that you had of yourself had completely changed.
Yeah.
But a mentor came into your life, poured into you, invested in you, showed you way, didn't fucking give up on you.
Yep.
And you had one of the biggest paydays at that point.
Yeah.
And now you are literally sitting on stages with people, getting in front of audiences. You're on one platform where they got over 1 million followers, and they're coming to watch you. Like, talk about that shit, man. Because I think people think that it's an overnight thing, and what I feel like we've lost value in is we fell out of love with the process.
Yeah, it's a super slow grind. Like, I've been in this shit since 2015, since I first got that property. And when I got that property, again, I went to my mentor and I went to a couple of my people who I really, care about and trust. Like, hey, y'all, look, I want to go out and tell people about this, but I want to do it my way. Like essentially telling people that I want to become an influencer. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was
people
like,
laugh at that word.
And motherfuckers like, nah, nigga, do that shit. Like, cause you got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what motherfuckers really need is you. Like, motherfuckers need you to come and talk to them. Like, you need to be in the communities, you need to be in the schools, you need to be in front of these kids telling them about this, and you need to be telling them about your story so they can have hope, so they can stop looking at rappers and, you know what I'm saying, entertainers and athletes strictly for motivation when it's guys like you out here, like I said, you up M, 2 M's, like you live financially free, like you move around how you want to, like, nigga, you're the new role model.
Paid off car,
paid off just like credit cards, like credit score 850, nigga, like I can go get whatever credit card I want with the no interest or the lowest interest, like it's just
that's literally what we were talking about before we started.
It's like that, like you know what I'm saying, and it's all because of a very, very simple piece of advice that somebody gave me, and I took that piece of advice and I ran with it, and I turned that piece of advice into a brand. And now, like you said, I'm speaking on stages on the biggest platforms, Bigger Pockets, EYL, No More OGs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, you know, God has presented me with so much opportunity and just so much just favor, bro. Like, some days that I just like wake up, I just look up and I just be like, thank you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, because I know where I come from, bro. Yeah. And I know like what people where I come from, how hard they're struggling and how hard they're trying to figure this shit out. And they just can't because there's no examples for them to be able to figure that shit out, and they're not seeing anybody around them that look like them doing the shit that they really want to do, which is why we cut on the TV and we aspire to be rappers and athletes, because that's all that we see people who look like us doing. So now we got motherfuckers like us who out here talking this shit, letting motherfuckers know, like, look, nah, I ain't no athlete, I ain't no ball player, but I'm still one of them niggas though. Like, I ain't worked for a motherfucker in forever. I can jump on the plane and go wherever I want to, whenever I want to, at any time of the day that I want to. Like, nigga, I be on my motherfucking IG lives on my thing blowing stupid big ass blunts, like, because like I can just do that. Like, I'm my own boss. You can't tell on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be fired. Like, I can't be fired. You know what I'm saying? I can't be canceled. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what I provide is a need-based service. Like, people are going to always need a place to live. Always. And you can't cancel that. And when you get in fields where you're operating in need-based industries and need-based services, ain't no such thing as canceling me. Like, who you gonna get to cancel me? Like, it's motherfuckers that need me. In the type of properties, in the type of apartments that I provide, nigga, somebody's going to always want to live in my units because my shit nice. Like, I ain't no slumlord. Like, I make sure my shit nice, look good. If it's ever an issue, I'm calling, getting that shit fixed the same day. Or like, man, bro, like, I don't. My tenants love me.
Bro, like I ain't even gotta. I'm just letting you pop your shit. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
And you know what's so funny? Because you said something earlier about some of the guys we all in the group chat with. It's like we all doing dope shit on different levels, but nobody's stingy with the information.
Nah, hell no.
You know, I can remember coming up in the game, and I'll never forget this story. I remember this like it was yesterday. I was at a kid's birthday party, and there was a dude there. And you remember when, like, having those photos where you could split a photo and put a photo to the side, a photo to the side. You remember that shit first started popping?
Yeah.
And it was this dude. I followed him on social media. I actually met him at the party. I said, man, I love your content, bro. Like, what app are you using? Because you know me.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. If you doing something, I'm going to ask you. The worst you can tell me is no.
Yeah.
Every time I've ever called you, you've given me an answer. Every time you've ever called me, I've given you an answer.
Yes, sir.
Dre Hatchet. You already know Dre Hatchet.
Dre Hatchet is...
He's the plug.
Yes.
Henry watched. I hit Henry up the other day. He did something for me immediately. Like, all those guys in our group chat, the Hartzog, Scotty, all those guys, man. We're not stingy with the information. But this dude, I said, man, what app is that you're using? And you know what this nigga told me, man? He was like, man, I don't know if I can give you to play like that, my dude. Like, you know,
the app, nigga. Like, it's an app, bro. Like,
it's a fucking app. So you know me. You know I'm with the shit. I said, nigga, you finna hold back a $5 app that I can get in the app store? Like, you gonna literally make me go through the app store
and figure this
shit out by myself and spend? Because you know, when you go to the app store, you download and pay for a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, I said, bro, we're not even in the same. Like, I had to have a conversation with this nigga on the spot. I said, do you know how bad this look? It's just two black men. And that nigga kind of felt guilty. He was like, my bad, bro. Like, and so he gave me the app, and I'm just like, man, you got to get around people that's not going to hold that information because, Dre, I'm going to be real with you, bro. I can't sell NACA like you.
Yeah.
I can't. With all of my experience in real estate, 20 years in real estate, retired, portfolio, you've been to one of my properties before, I cannot sell NACA like you.
And I tell people all the time what it is you have to have gone through the program or know somebody who's going through the program if you want to be successful. Outside of that, it's going to be hell. Like, because nobody can tell you how to do it because they ain't never did it. Like,
they've never done it. Like, but even if you teach me the game because you sell a course, I still can't do, like, your niche is your niche.
It's my niche. Yeah.
People who would never fuck with me are going to fuck with you because, one, you're the subject matter expert. Two, you're the first person that's doing the shit. But people would typically go to the source. But even if I gain a following just selling NACA, I'll never, one, I always have to contribute to what I learned from you. But two, I'm not going to take no money away from you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a totally different market than me. And we have to learn that there's no competition. Like, stop being so afraid. Within our communities, too often, you have 5 groups of dudes or 5 guys, and they all want to be barbers.
Yeah,
right?
That's crazy. So it's like, instead of that, like, you know, have one guy be a barber, have one guy maybe sell picks or combs, have one guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just like,
you caught
where
what I was
y'all can
going,
kind of
right?
like, you know what I'm saying, just coexist together without getting in each other way and y'all all swapping money.
And you kill the industry, right?
Yeah.
You might not be able to cut better than him, but you know what? You might be able to sell a certain product.
Yeah.
You might be able to sell an enhancement.
Yeah.
Somebody got to sharpen those clippers.
Yes, sir.
Like, somebody got to provide the oil and the maintenance for the shit. Like, maybe you can own a barbershop. I got a partner who don't even have a license, and he owns a barbershop.
Go open up a beauty supply store if you're got a barbershop.
I mean, come on, it's so many lanes, but we think sometimes we think so small minded, and nobody's teaching us this shit until now. Now I want y'all to start getting into the room through this podcast with people who don't walk into a room with their fist clenched because they understand the power of somebody pulling them to the side and saying, "I motherfucking believe in you. I want you to win. This is how you win. And when you fuck up, I'm still gonna be here to help you."
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. And you best believe that throughout the process, you're definitely going to fuck up because that's the only way you're gonna learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never gone through a situation or a process where everything just went 100% correct. Ever. It's been times in my life, Tim, and I just made a post about this. I ain't even posted yet. Where I'm like, look, it's gonna be times in your life where you do every single thing right. You ain't do nothing wrong, and shit still ain't gonna go your way. What you gonna do then?
Shit, hire an attorney.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it's nothing that you can do but keep grinding, like, keep going, like, you know what I'm saying? Stay down till you come up. You gotta, like, you know what I mean? Like, really, like, be diligent and consistent with what it is that you're trying to get done in your goals. Otherwise, like, it just won't happen because there is gonna always be bumps in the road and hiccups on the way. We
don't want to look stupid. We got to be able to avoid what I call, you know, nanny boo boo syndrome, right? You know, you from Chicago, so y'all signify out there. You know, somebody walking in with the wrong thing on, you gonna fire their ass up. We call it firing your ass up out here, right? But too often, people don't want to look stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
And I call it nanny boo boo syndrome. Like, it's so many people that come to me for consultations. The biggest hurdle is getting them to understand that they should not give a fuck what somebody thinks about them. I've done a fucking video live cast and a goddamn snot bubble came out my nose. I kept going, my nigga. I sniffed it up and was like, y'all see that shit? Bro, I got so many screenshots from that shit. That's one of my highest views, though. Right? I didn't give a fuck because at the end of the day, they gonna talk anyway. Let them talk. Yeah. We got to get out of that nanny boo boo shit. Like, when you fail, failure is a part of the process. You have to. It's like when you building the house. When you pour that cement, you gotta let it dry before you put something on it. Yeah, there's a process.
Yeah, facts. And I even with, like, you know, just like content and stuff like that, you just see people just so scared, like, to just like produce content and get on camera and just like talk about what they know, and it's just like, why? Like, you have information that's valuable and people want this information, but you're gonna hold it in because of the people who aren't thinking about your ass ain't gonna even come to your page. You worried about them, what they gonna think, but it's people out here waiting on you to come and teach them specific information, but you're not concerned about those people. You concerned about the people who ain't even in your realm or in your demographic of information. That, like, why do you care? Why do you care? Like, so for example, me and Charles was having a conversation one time. He was like, bro, your content is amazing. I love how you just like will pull up and shoot content wherever. He's like, you don't ever be scared like to have your camera out because you got a nice little setup. I'd be like, bro, why the fuck do I give a hell about what somebody who I don't know and probably won't ever see again after this thinks about me right now? Like, why I care about that? Like, I'm out here on a mission. I have a purpose, and I know what that is every day when I get up. And it's to help people get their shit together financially. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm motherfucking in the middle of a hotel lobby, walking down a busy street or whatever, and I get inspired and I want to shoot a piece of content, man, out come my camera. Excuse me, y'all. Can y'all get out of my way? I'm trying to shoot something real fast. Like, I don't care about that, bro.
Fucking with you, fucking with Dre Hatchet got me like that.
Yeah, you gotta be.
I was a dude like, I don't know what it was, man. I don't even want to say I was scared, but I'm a perfectionist. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, it got to look a certain kind of way. But Dre was like, put that shit out. Watching you, like literally watching you pull up to one of my properties. You put up to that motherfucker, you got out, pulled your shit out.
Yeah.
You put that
in
shit
the hood,
together.
Nigga. And like, I got my whole setup out.
Where was we at? Where we was at? We were, yeah. Niggas was walking by and shit. And you was good, trust me.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't concerned. Like, nigga, I got a $6,000 camera set up out here in Pleasant Grove. Like, shit. Like, nigga, like, what's up? Like,
but we get so afraid, bro. And we it's like, why? Who are you afraid of? Who is that boogeyman? Who is that nanny boo boo ass person that you're afraid to get in front of? Like, there's an old saying: when you 20, you care about what everybody think. When you 40, you don't give a damn what people think. And when you 60, you realize when nobody think about your ass at all. Anyway, and so getting in that group with y'all, I remember when I first got in that group, I ain't even talk in that group. I was like, all right, man, I don't know about this shit. Because it was that nigga shit. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, and then when I came to Dallas, we got drunk, we went to Deep Ellum, and we had a long ass talk that night. It's like, yeah, G, you gotta let that shit go, man.
Yeah,
like,
man. You got me.
like, you gotta get past
you got me off that shit,
like,
man. Dre, let me tell you about this nigga right here, man. Dre walking around Deep Ellum like he owned the motherfucker.
I'm staying in Deep Ellum this weekend.
Yeah, I told you. I said go out there. But it was the wisdom that I got that weekend, bro. Yeah. Like, it's like
perspective, man. Different points of view like matter. Like, you can't always look at stuff from your own point of view. You gotta like be able to remove yourself outside of your own body and look at stuff from somebody else's point of view. Like, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. How would you feel if you were this person, or the shoe was on the other foot, or a motherfucker was withholding information that you needed or that you wanted? Like, and I get it. At some point, you know what I mean? Of course, you're gonna charge for your time, you know what I mean? Your energy, all of that. But at the end of the day, answering a simple question, giving a motherfucker a piece of advice, any of that. Like I told you, Keoki told me, this was our conversation when I found out about NACA. I'm like, man, Key, I got about 12 grand saved up. I'm ready to go buy me a house. She was like, nigga, that shit sound cool, but you really need to be going to consider getting you a multi-unit, because that's what's going to set you up to live the life that you really trying to live. And it's crazy because I had read the same thing in Rich Dad, Poor Dad not long before that, and it was just like a light bulb hit went off like, ding, this the same shit Robert Kiyosaki said.
It was familiar though now.
It was just, it was like that familiarity.
Because even when you read that book, like I read that book, it was a great book. I was in real estate. Back in my mind, you know, those fears, setback, roadblocks, you know, you had those thoughts. But he come from this, you know. But when somebody that looks like you, that says, no, you should actually do this, because here, it completely, it makes you like lower your shoulders, like, oh.
And not only was she like, nigga, you should actually do this, but she was like, listen, I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to give you the play on how to do it.
She wasn't selling nigga no course,
no,
and then telling you got to buy a $5,000 course to get the rest of the answers.
No. She gave me everything, everything, which is kind of like this, which is what I do with my webinar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, man, I give you everything that you need to know to be successful in that program, bro. Like, I give you everything you need to know. Like, I'm myself on there. I'm authentically me on there. Like, I pop my shit on there. I encourage people on there. I speak about mindset on there. I speak about not giving up. Like, it's not just like a webinar about the NACA program. Like, it is just like an event, bro. Like, it is just like a real, like, you know what I mean, just like vibe. Because what you're not gonna get when you go to the NACA program is people who like genuinely like care, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're there to do their job, and I get it. Like, those people are way overworked and way underpaid, so it's only so much they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But here I am, like, I'm pouring into my community, I'm pouring into my people, because I know how hard it is to get through that program, and I know how difficult it was for me. But I did it though, and I made it through, and it's like, y'all, I got the blueprint to this shit. I got the formula to this shit. I really got the sauce to this shit. Like, y'all need to come fuck with me, because it's like, y'all can go through the NACA program without me, but it's just not gonna be the same.
Not gonna be the same.
Like, it's not gonna be the same.
And then you got somebody you got somebody to do your victory lap with. You know, having that accountability. Like, one thing I love about that group we in is like, when people win, like, people come there and make you feel like $1 million. Like, they let you take your victory lap.
Yes, sir.
And it's like, a lot of times, specifically people that look like us, we're taught not to celebrate.
Yep.
We're taught not to laugh at ourselves. Be humble. You know,
humble yourself.
Humble yourself. It's like
fuck you. Like,
humble yourself. No, but it's like I posted something the other day. I said, self-love is not worship.
Yeah.
You should be able to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, the first law of nature is self-preservation.
Yep.
When you fly on a plane, in the event of loss of cabin pressure, secure your mask before securing others. You can't help people if you're not fucking taking care of yourself. Before you came here, I went to the gym, did the Stairmaster for 30 minutes, burned 500 calories. Like, I have a fucking goal, bro.
Facts.
But that starts with me understand and honestly watching you. Watching Xavier, watching, the BWR guys, posting y'all workouts and shit. It's like, okay, all right, let me get up on this shit. Like, this not no competition. This is motivation.
Yeah.
You have to start loving yourself. The whole mindset matters concept. Like, if you don't put up in your head, if it's in your head, it can be in your hand.
Yep.
But if it's also in your head, you can keep yourself from getting it. And so, man, I know I'm rambling right now, but
no,
bro,
that what you just said was really cold. Like, if it's in your head, it can be in your hand. But if it's in your head, it's also like that's where it's at. If you keep it there, like that's cold. Like, if you just only thinking about shit and you're not taking no action on it, you're gonna be limited. You're gonna be stagnant. You're gonna be in the same place for the rest of your life. The main thing is to get this information and go out and take action on it. It's not going to be perfect. It's not ever going to be perfect. You're always gonna have room for improvement. But that's you going up. That's growth. Like, you don't want to start at the top, because if you start at the top, the only place to go is down. Damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you want to have some room to grow and actually like go through those processes and those progressions. And also, while you're going through those processes and those progressions, you're learning the process. So if I ever were to fall back down, I know how to get the fuck back up.
It's like
here.
A math problem.
If I started up here, like, nigga, I don't know how I got here. If I go back to the bottom, and this is the best example I can give. And it's like, for example, when we hear about recessions or different shit like that, or a better example, when a Fortune 500 company CEO, they stock tank and all that, what's the first thing? They go jump off the fucking roof. They go kill themselves, right? Black people like, I've been poor my whole life. This is nothing new to me. I'm not gonna go and take my life because
recession.
Like, just because of it. Like, I've been in recession my whole life. Like this, like, so, you know what I'm saying? It's a different type of, you know what I mean, shock value, and it's a different type of, you know what I mean, just trauma and response that people go through when they are introduced to pressure or just like difficult times and difficult situations. And we as black folks, bro, like, we handle those shits amazingly. We handle those shit immaculately. And like, I'm an example of that. You're an example of that. Like, so many of us are examples of that because we don't come from the most, like, you know what I mean, financially literate, the most just like, you know what I'm saying, the best situations. Like, we come from food deserts. We come from, like I say, low income, like government assistance, like all of these different things. They're set up to be roadblocks and stop us from being successful, but we still get through them.
Our financial literature was get a good job and pay your bills on time.
Man, that's it.
Like, that's literally what.
Do that shit for 40 years.
For 40 years, retire, get the gold watch. That's it. And all them pensions gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all them pensions gone. Like,
yeah, man.
You know, and it's not to shit on anybody, but it's important for our kids to see something different. It's important, like, I always tell, you know, like, I hope that since we the generation that got it out the mud, I hope we not raising a generation of little bitch ass kids that's entitled. And I say that and people kind of laugh, but when you think about it, wealth tends to, like, a lot of times it skips generations because somebody will squander it. Yeah. And I've been on the record saying, like, don't pass your business down to your kids. Generational wealth is not giving them something physical. Generational wealth is giving them something mental. Because if you've created all this wealth, and let's say I create a $20 million company. If my son been fucking off and bullshitting and traveling and living his life and not learning the $20 million company, when I step down or when I win, when something happens to me,
he gonna squander.
If I put in his hands, he gonna fuck it up.
Squander everything.
And then what's gonna happen? Or he'll sell it to somebody, squander the money, and then our legacy's gone. But generational wealth is me. Hey son, come in here. Let me show you this $6,000
implant mindset. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Teaching, that's where it is. That's where the generational wealth comes in at. Like, all right, I'm going to pass this mindset along. So for generations, my family will be able to handle this. They'll be able to talk to their kids about how granddad started this or great granddad started this. Like, they'll have an understanding and not just like, I came into some money because my daddy was this and like, no, my daddy was this. He taught me how to be this, and I'm going to teach you how to be this. Man. And you teach your kids how to be this as well. And that's where generational wealth starts starts at. It's here in the mind. And if people don't understand that and automatically think, man, if I got $1 million, it's gonna be generational wealth. Nah, because at the end of the day, you don't even know what to do with the money when you get it.
Ain't a lot of money.
It ain't a lot of money, because as soon as you spend $1, what they say, you down to 999,000. Like, you're not a millionaire anymore. You know what I mean? So that's the first concept. Like, just like get your mind right when it comes to this kind of stuff. Understand certain concepts. Understand the importance of investing. Understand, like, don't just use your money to buy stuff. Like, use your money to build things. Use your money to grow more money. You know what I'm saying? And when we
don't hustle for the cherry on top, hustle for the cake. That's
yes,
what I always tell people.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm saying? It's like, and I talk about, like, I made a post recently, and a lot of people responded to it. I said, I don't believe in generational curses. I believe in generational misinformation. Because when you start when you start having conversations with your parents and your grandparents, and I understand, they went through, I understand what we as Black people went through, right? I also understand that now we have access to everything. So it's time for us to stop holding on to those things. We should never forget what we've been through, but we have to pivot and make sure we never get there again.
Facts.
So now it's like me and you, we're breaking those curses by redistributing the information once we get it. We're not clutching. There's no gatekeepers anymore.
And for me, it's not only I'm teaching it to my children, but I'm teaching it to your children and everybody's children. And I'm putting the information out there to make it a public thing. We're not just keeping this inside of our family. Like, no, we're going to spread this into our community so everybody can get some.
Everybody's going to eat. And with the internet, that's the play right there. Like, the internet is literally the great equalizer.
Yep.
Dre was texting us the other day. He said, man, we got to go out to eat, man. I got people hitting me up. I need a spot for like 15, 20 people, man.
Yeah.
Like, literally, Dre posts he's coming to Dallas, and people just start hitting him up like, where you going to be? Let's grab. Like, that's powerful. I'm doing an event for Kendra Barnes this weekend. She's launching her book, and she's doing a book tour. I met Kendra through Hatchet. Literally, Hatchet came in for an event, called me, called all us up. We came down there. I met all these people I'd never met before. Now me and her running plays together.
Dope.
Me and you done ran plays together.
Yes, sir.
You and Dre done ran plays together. You and him done ran plays together.
Yes, sir.
Anthony showed up to the event this weekend with the kids. You've come to the events. It's like, and these kids, when they see you come, they see themselves in you. They see somebody pull up with some Jordans, his own brand, looking like $1 million, smelling like $1 million, in his own shit. And it's like, oh, wait a minute.
I want to be like him. I don't gotta necessarily be like Ja Morant, or I don't gotta be like Lil Meech on BMF. Like, I can actually, you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta be like Lil Baby. Like, I can be like bro.
Yeah. It's like 1% chance of you making the pros. Bro, it's easier for a kid to become an attorney, a doctor, a chemist, an engineer, a real estate broker than it is to make the pros.
Absolutely.
And we have much more longevity.
Yeah.
I work with pros unless they got a Kioki in their life, right?
Yeah.
Which a lot of them don't.
They gonna fuck it off.
You understand? I know you done seen that fall. I know I have, right? With some of my clients.
Hell yeah.
So let's shift here, man, because I want to talk to you about mindset matters, and we can wrap it on that. Like, what was that about? Like, what epiphany did you have? Because literally, when you got to the point to where you start acknowledging that your mindset matters, it took you to a different level.
Absolutely. For me, that was the first thing, because I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And I'm just like constantly like, what is not working out for me? Like, I'm watching my friends go to the NBA, I'm watching my other homie. This motherfucker, he done sold 40 million records worldwide, produced, Anaconda for Nicki Minaj, Birthday Cake for Rihanna, Ass for Big Sean. I'm talking like multi-platinum records. Like, you know what I'm saying? This nigga got hits. I'm watching my friends be successful. Young as fuck, Tim. Like, and there was never no hate. It was just always like, God, when is gonna be my turn? Like, shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, you just steady dangling this shit in my head, like I said earlier. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like, once I kind of like started to be grateful to God and just be like thankful, like, and realize like, man, bro, like you was in the projects. Like, a lot of your cousins is like, they gang members, like niggas in jail, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of these different, like, I brought you out of that and you still sitting there questioning me, boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's when like everything kind of shifted for me. Like, when I realized that, like, how blessed I was, even in like, in my trauma and even in my downtimes, like, boy, you still blessed, because you could be way more fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like what did it for me. And that's when I kind of like, all right, cool. I stepped away from music because it wasn't serving me. I wasn't making no money. It was a big ass facade. I was looking like I was getting it, looking like I had girls doing videos, songs on the radio. All this wasn't getting paid a dime from this shit to him, like $1. So I had to make a conscious decision to step away from music, which was the first step in my mindset shift, because like, all right, cool, I have to do something different because this shit ain't working, which is a major blow to your pride and your ego, because you just went from looking like you that nigga to now you have to go get a job, like at a call center, at a Taco Bell or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's to the male ego, that's a bomb to the male ego. You get what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't do it.
They don't. A motherfucker would rather sit at home and be broke.
Yeah.
But mind you, I had kids, I had eviction notices on my door, I had a lot of different things going on that I just couldn't go sit the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just ain't never been no slouch ass nigga. Like, it's just like, nigga, you gonna figure this shit out. Like, even if you have to go and start over, but you're gonna figure this out. And I went and got me a job at the telemarketing company that we talked about. I hated that shit, but I excelled at sales. I could talk. I could, you know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler.
Yeah, you
so
got
you know
the
what
gift
I'm saying?
of gab, bro.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like now I'm on the phone talking to motherfuckers. I'm selling, I'm excelling. I'm able to start saving money. I'm able to start transitioning. Now it's like, all right, cool. I'll start Googling how motherfuckers out here who got 9 to 5s.
And he literally put motherfuckers. Like, how motherfuckers. Yeah, like, he like Google correct the shit. Did you mean Dre really talk like that? So
I write like how I talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, how motherfuckers out here who got jobs get rich? And real estate and the stock market kept coming up, and I came across the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I saw it on eBay, a used book. I think it was like $2.99 at the time. Or Amazon for like $2.99 or something like that. I'm like,
because Amazon was a bookstore. Yeah, see, we old enough to remember when Amazon was just a bookstore.
Yeah, so I'm like, this book $2.99 says it's the #1 business book ever. Like, let me just buy this shit real quick, just cause like I need something. Like I need something.
Yeah.
And man, I read that book in a day. Like I was at work. I remember it came in the night before. I'm gonna start reading this at work tomorrow. I opened that book, Tim. I swear to God, my managers and supervisors was on my ass all day. Like, boy, you have people on the phone. I'm in this book. Motherfuckers like, hello. I'm like, yeah, hold on 1 second. I'll get right back to you. That motherfucker on hold, just steady reading. You know that call. They monitor your calls. And I don't give a fuck, Tim. Like, I'm just like, yo, like the information. It just like it sucked me in. I finished the book probably in half a day's time.
Damn.
Like probably 4 hours. That book probably 200 some pages. I finished that book in 4 hours, and I'm just like, yo, this it. Like I'm never looking back. Like this shit just like that. Like just that light bulb moment. Like just, and then like I say, when I started saving for about a year, reached out to Kyoki. She hit me with that shit, and it was just like that humble moment where God like really sat me the fuck down. That's what changed my mindset, because it was just like, all right, nigga, as you gonna settle for this? Because at that call center, bro, like I'm working with, you know, like, and this is not to judge anybody or anything, but it's just like the lowest level mindset people, like, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers who just came home from the joint, they don't got their head on right, like, you know what I'm saying, but they gotta get a job because they PO forcing them to go to work and all that kind of shit. In addition to that, like you dealing with females who, you know what I'm saying, dealing with domestic abuse and, you know what I'm saying, like low income, you know what I'm saying, like Section 8, you know, just all of this kind of stuff.
Their mindset hadn't shifted yet.
And they don't want more for themselves. Like they don't even want more for themselves.
And that's what I say when I say I leave people behind. It's not to shit on people, but some people just don't want more.
This is I realize this is my environment. I'm like, nah, see, I can't get caught up in this environment and get sucked into this environment and sucked into this mindset, because this is the
I'm knocking shit over, my bad.
Right, because this is the part where like this how motherfuckers end up stuck. They get up every day, they come to a place they complain about, you know what I'm saying, they hate this shit, like they life at home ain't right. Like I don't want to be that person. Like I want to be grateful that I'm alive. I want to be grateful that God gave me this opportunity to make money, and I'm going to make the best of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
But you had also already, you saw what it looked like on the other side.
Yeah, and that's what did it. It was like, all right, cool. If I'm going to work here, I'm going to take this shit seriously. So that's when I started saving all my bread, invested in the 401k that they offered. You know what I mean? They matched the money and all that. Like I said, I look up after a year, Tim, I had, like I say, 10, 12 bands. And I'm like, yo, I'm ready to do something. I had been working on my credit, like all of these different things.
Took you about a year.
About a year to get everything in order.
Took him about a year.
Because I locked in. Like I stopped buying mics. You know, I love mics, bro. Like I stopped buying mics, nigga. Eat noodles every day. Like working every extra shift they had available. I went back to school just because I told myself I wanted to finish something. I went back and got my associate's degree. So I was going to school, working 50-hour weeks, and just like, I just started seeing my money run up like crazy. Like, okay, nigga, this, sit the fuck down and lock in. And the more that I started doing that, the more hours I started working overtime, me sitting down, saving my bread, watching my 401k run up. I'm like, yo, like this the formula. Now you got to go out now, instead of saving up the money and all that. Now the money that you saved, go use it to invest in something and put the money to work. Don't just have it sitting there, because right now all you doing is working for the money. Now you can work for the money and take the money and put it to work. So now it's two of y'all working.
So you took a year. Because I always preach a year.
Yeah, a year.
I always preach 365 days.
Yep.
You literally took a year and you said to yourself, fuck it, I'm just gonna go all in.
I'm finna lock in. Ain't no distractions. Like, stop going around my friends for a little while. Like, just like I went into like hiding, bro. Like, I literally went into hiding and just really got on my shit and became the best version of myself that I could. You know what I'm saying? And it's paid dividends since then. Like I say, it started in maybe like 2012, 2013. Like I said, I started on the path of saving up and all that. Start reading, like I say, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Money Master the Game. Like, I didn't just read that one book. Like, I read in that year, bro, I probably read 100 fucking books. Like, every time I finished one, like, I started another one. Like, and what happens is when you go into these books, a lot of times they suggest other books inside of the book that are valuable for you to go and get.
I'm gonna give you a book. Have you read The Success Principles by Jack Canfield?
No, I haven't.
Thank me later.
For sure. I'll go check
He
that out.
got about 100 different books that he recommends. But that book, that was the book that changed my life. Yeah. Literally. Like, teaching me a purpose, giving me the structure. I'm actually doing it with my wife and son right now. Yeah. We're going through reading it together as a family. That was the book that changed my life. Everyone has that one book. Yeah. I read the 48 Laws of Power.
That wasn't nice.
It teaches you strategy. It's a good book, but it's not gonna make you any money.
Yeah, that teach you how to like.
That's the jail nigga
be like
book.
A billionaire type shit. Like, you know, you gotta cross
be
motherfuckers.
Napoleon.
You gotta cross motherfuckers and all kind of shit. It's like, I don't got time for this kind of shit.
It's a strategy book, but you know, it's not gonna build you no wealth.
No, that shit is a straight. Niggas like go to war type shit. Like, you finna go to war with a nigga type shit. Like, I'm not looking for that. So these are my top three since we talking about it.
Let's hit it.
Mindset, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. And then spirituality, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. Like, those are the three like that really did it for me.
He mentions that book in Success Principles.
Yeah. Deepak Chopra is like one of my favorite authors, man. Just the level of spirituality and just like intuitivity that he knows, like just like with oneself and just like all of that kind of stuff, man. I really love him as a writer, and those are the three books that really did it for me. I've read a ton of other ones, but what I realized is a lot of the books saying the same stuff. It's about you going out to take action on it, because what happens is it becomes so repetitive, and then you get analysis paralysis, because it's like, all right, cool, what do I do first? It's just like, go out and start doing it. Just start taking action. Whatever you do is going to, you have to get started in order to finish. If you never start, you won't ever finish. And just like get started somewhere, somehow, like just take a leap and do something.
Let's end it on this note right here. If you can go back and talk to yourself 10 years ago, let's just say 18-year-old you. 18-year-old you out there doing what you do. I always reference the Back to the Future Part 2. We know when Biff goes back to the future, he goes back and gives him the almanac and say, listen, dummy, I'm you. Here's the almanac. This is every game between now and whenever. You bet on these games, you'll never lose. And then you go back to the future, and he's like a trillionaire. Yeah. What would you tell yourself? What would you tell Dre? 18-year-old Dre is coming out, just got some fresh J's. You probably had long hair. Did you have long hair back then? You had braids and shit like that?
I did have braids.
Right?
I did have braids.
You getting ready to go up to IU and go get into some shit, right? And then you show up. What do you say to yourself, man?
Hey, man, you gonna be all right. You know, like, because at that time, like, I was dealing with a lot, going through a lot. Like, just like my whole life, I've been through a lot. Like I said, bro, like, my parents was on drugs. I've been adopted. Like, I just seen a lot of stuff that kids just shouldn't see. You know what I'm saying? And what I've realized is, in these 30 plus years or so that I've been on this planet, bro, it's just like, no matter what I've been through, like, I always end up okay. Like, God got me. Like, I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of them ones. And that's what I would go tell myself, like, hey, bro, like, you're really one of them ones. Start moving like it. Start acting like it. You know what I'm saying? And God gonna take care of everything else for you. And it wouldn't be nothing about no money or nothing. It'll just be like, you know, like, you're gonna be cool. Cause I used to worry a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Am I gonna be broke for the rest of my life? Is this it for me? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, nah, you're gonna be straight. Like, just keep on grinding. Keep on staying solid. Like, don't, you know what I mean? Don't fall into the streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, just stay solid. Like, everything gonna fall in line the way that it's supposed to. And that's the conversation that I had with myself, because I needed that, you know what I mean, at the time, because I didn't have nobody around me telling me things was gonna be cool, and you know what I'm saying, just keep on, you know what I'm saying, grinding, like, just stay down till you come up type shit. And that advice would have man, did wonders for me because I was just in a space of just not knowing. Because, you know, when you go from 17, 18 years old, you go from essentially a young teenager to, you know, in black households, when you're 18, they consider you grown. So it's like now you essentially got to fend for yourself.
That's
like, you know what I'm
concept.
saying? Yeah, like you essentially got to fend for yourself. And most times 18-year-olds are still children and they don't have no real concept of life. And now you done threw a motherfucker out to the wolves and they got to figure it out. And that's the situation that I was in. And that's what I like more than anything. Like, bro, you going to be good. Don't trip.
We're going to wrap it up on that note, man. Listen, as always, I done knocked a bunch of shit over, so it's all good. Go out and get the book, Real Dope, an in-depth comparison between real estate and the dope game. You guys, I'm giving you the game. This is a manual. It's going to show you exactly what you need to do to get in the real estate game. I want to thank you so much for coming, man. This is an amazing interview. We got so many, as people say, gems. I'm about to get my boy to cut this up and put that caption. We finna run that hoe, man. You know, it's funny, and I'm going to end. I didn't realize how much, like, just these conversations impact people. Like, I went on Millionaire Mindset. I went on a couple of podcasts, and them videos is doing crazy numbers, but it ain't about the numbers. It's about the people that inbox you. Impact. Like, bro, I was literally not knowing what I should do. Like, I had no clue where I was going to be, what I was going to do. And then you said something that just made perfect sense. And it's like, I want to give you your flowers while you're here, bro. You done gave me so much game. Just even that walk around Deep Ellum that night, I was like, fuck it. I've literally started doing the exact opposite of what I do online. Like, before I was on there bullshitting, playing around, goofing around. I cleaned my page up. Yeah. I focus specifically on this niche. Yep. I start looking at it like a business, bro. And then, shit, this right here, where we're at right now, where you think it's sitting up on right now? Well, Peerspace.
Swear.
Who gave me the Peerspace play?
Word. I definitely gave motherfuckers a Peerspace play.
I had no clue what the fuck a Peerspace was. And then I rented a spot to do my documentary. Word. And then my lease was coming up. I needed an office. I came in here. I said, this could be an amazing podcast play. Yep. And I actually have somebody who rents it out every single month. This spot is generating me income because of you.
And you got all the equipment and everything. You can rent all this stuff out. Let people use this stuff for extra money too. So now not only are you renting your space, but now you're renting the equipment too. So that's an extra charge that you can put on motherfuckers.
I know. I be listening to you. But literally, this generates me enough income to cover the rent. Yeah. Every single month. So, and that's with 2 clients.
That's dope.
So it's like people that come back consistently. So I appreciate that wisdom, bro. Like literally me, you know, I retired. I said I'm coming out of retirement because I want to retire again when I'm 45. But my goal is to help 100 people make $1 million.
That's amazing.
So it's like I can't get to my goal unless other people win.
Facts.
So I appreciate you for that, my brother, man.
My God, I appreciate you.
Let's get it, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow the podcast. No more OGs. We are changing the culture. We are the culture. We're not even trying to change it. We're creating our own culture, our own lane. Tap in. Oh, you never told them where they can find you at, bro.
Man, at Renaissance 125 across all, you know, social media platforms, YouTube, everything. It's Renaissance 125. That's been me since I can remember.
Yep. And go get his merch. I got a ton of mindset, man.
Tim probably like my #1 customer the whole time. Yeah.
I got a ton of your shit, bro. Go get some of his merch, but more importantly, follow him because Dre is a solid dude. He's not going to mislead you. I'll never bring somebody on this platform that's going to bullshit you, try to get you over on their side, sell you some bullshit. No. Dre's the type of person that will pull up and stand on what the fuck he said. Yep. And that's what we're about. So get tapped in, follow us at No More OGs. We'll see you soon.